Hey, what's going on, everyone? Axel here. So for those of you who didn't see my last video, I'm recording this on my cell phone because recently my PC died. I'm working on getting a replacement. Hopefully I'll have it soon and I can get back to streaming and making better YouTube videos. But for now, bear with me because I have to stick with my cell phone. It's all I have. So, okay, guys. So today I was on the forums and I saw an interesting thread about chest ransack, and I realized I don't think I talked about this before. Maybe I have on the channel, but I thought I would make a video on that, just giving my 2 cents on chest ransack. It is something that you see somewhat often. You'll see people complain about, but for those of you all who don't know, if you're a new player, the way chest ransack works is essentially you get 8 pulls from a chest, and after that, named loot stops dropping. So that's a mechanic in the game that makes it so you can't just farm one chest continually until you get what you want. The timer, there is a 1 week timer on that, those 8 pulls, that starts on the first pull of the chest. So when you have your first pull of the chest, the 1 week timer starts, and you can only pull 8 times within that 1 week. This is only a per character timer, obviously, so you can get around this by swapping to an alt, for example. So, chest ransack, I think it's a good mechanic. I personally think it's fine the way it's in the game right now. I think there's a lot of pros to it, but there's definitely some cons, and I think there's a lot of people who would like to see it go away. But let's go over just the pros first of it. I think this is probably the weakest argument for chest ransack, but I do think there is an element here of it existing to protect players from burning themselves out in the game, from doing one thing too, like farming one thing too much, and playing in a style that's very monotonous. Some drop rates in DDO are quite low, and it can be pretty frustrating to not have a wall there to be like, okay, guys, you've done this a lot, just go do something else. So I think there is an element of that. DDO generally wants you to do a variety of different things. The other thing that is chest ransack is good for is lengthening the life of content. So, for example, chest ransack is a bit of a guard against the tendency players of these days with raid bypass timers existing to farm everything they want within the first few weeks of a raid. At least with chest ransack, there's a little bit of a guard there to say if you only have one character, really because raids are bound to character loot, there is a bit of a guard there to where you just can't burn out the raid in 2 weeks. And that's good to have content that has an actual longer lifespan. It gives other players time to get in on the raid. For example, I know we've had problems in the past of just everyone running a raid so much the first 2 weeks. By the time the more casual players get around to it, there's no one for them to run the raid with. So I think that's fine. Lengthening the life of content is a good byproduct of chest ransack. It also obviously encourages you to run a variety of content, which is something the developers have always pushed. I mean, there's things like Prairie bonus, for example. There has been first time bonuses. The devs really like to incentivize players to run a variety of content. This is just me theorizing, but that probably goes back to helping players to not get burnt out and quit the game. I mean, DDO devs don't want players to get burnt out. They want them to stay in the game. So anything that can help prevent burnout is good. Plus, running a variety of content lets you group with a variety of people who might want to run other content. The other thing, and probably the best thing from my mind that chest ransack does, it gives you a reason to have an alt. And this is what I brought up in that thread, and what I bring up when people discuss how much they hate chest ransack. It's really something that I personally have not ever had a problem with, because I usually have an alt or two. Not to mention, there have been times where I really will farm something until ransack. It's not very often, but I do that sometimes. But I always have an alt available. So if you have an alt available, if you're farming something at level 30, or 32 now, and you hit ransack, just jump on your alt. You have a fresh chest timer. So that's a good reason to have an alt. I think everyone, even if you only focus on one character, which is what a lot of people do in DDO these days, it's a really good idea to have just a second alt that just sticks at 30, stays at cap. There's a lot of good reasons to have that. Chest ransack is one of them. Another one is just having a character to jump on raids, anytime you want. Being able to run with friends anytime you want. Now, getting around, another good one is if your main is at cap, you can have an alt there so you can get around the raid timers. So you actually have another character you can jump on without having to buy a raid bypass timer. So there's a lot of good reasons just to have an alt. It doesn't have to be the best character in the world. A first life character is fine. Just keep it at 32 and use it for these purposes. Let's see. Um, this is probably the next reason is probably a weaker one, but I do think there is also an element of chest ransack existing to help guard a little bit against exploits that could happen. At least with chest ransack, there, if there is an exploit to say farm a chest really really fast, there is a limit to how much it could be farmed, or if there is a chest that's dropping, say an unintended rate, then there is a limit there to how much it can be farmed. Let's see. So let's talk about the argument against chest ransack. The best argument against it, and it's a very valid argument, is that chest ransack prevents players from playing the game the way they want to play it. If somebody wants to run the same quest 20, 30, 40 times, then why shouldn't they be allowed to do that? That's a good argument that's a bit hard to refute. And I think there is pros and cons to Ransack, but I guess what I would say in response to that argument is, well, here's the pros I listed. I think that in particular, encouraging alts is a good thing. One thing in DDO that they've done a lot over the years is taken away reasons to have alts, so that's a good reason. Along with all the other ones I've mentioned already. But that's certainly, I understand why people feel that way, and I really can't argue against you, because if you feel that way, then okay, that's valid, but it's just not my opinion, and I think there's reasons to feel why chest ransack is okay. Anyways, let's see. Another thing I actually forgot to mention. This is another pro. Is I think that or a pro or a con the way you look at it. The other problem is that if there was no chest ransack, developers would have to adjust for that. So, for example, the drop rates we have now are designed with chest ransack in mind. So if chest ransack didn't exist and players could farm chests endlessly, then who's to say we would have the same drop rates? I think the developers would adjust to that and respond to that if somehow chest ransack was forcibly taken out of the game by drastically reducing drop rates. Because if you open up the possibility of endless farming, then developers still want to have longevity of content. They still want people to want to run a variety of things. They're still going to put in measures to have players play the amount of time that they want them to play that content. So they're going to respond in kind, very likely reducing drop rates. So that's another reason for chest ransack to exist, is it allows you to have a reasonable drop rate. And if they did drop the rates in response to the removal of chest ransack, then that would really hurt casual players the most, who would never get what they want. Whereas the more hardcore players would farm until they got what they wanted anyways, because they play a lot more. So yeah, that's another thing that's worth mentioning. But yeah, guys, I think that's about it. Let me know what you think below about chest ransack. That's just my 2 cents. I understand why some people are against it, but I personally think it's fine the way it is. But before I end the video, I want to thank my patrons, Jordan Bloom, Robert Ray, Vovklav Snyder, Brent Erickson, Ryan Alzi, Rouge Rogue, and Clorox. Thank you all very much. And again, the money that you all give me through Patreon, those of you that are generous enough to do it, are going to go towards this, what looks like I'm going to have to buy a new computer. So that's all that money's going to go there. Yeah, guys, that's going to be it for the video. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all next time. Have a good one. Take care.